Welcome to TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business, wealth, and the Word of God. So many people have asked me, well, what does consciousness mean? Consciousness means just your awareness, that you're awake, that you're alive, and that you're aware of what's going on in your environment. Other people ask me, well, what does parapsychology mean? That just means that it's the supernatural. So we see a certain spectrum, and the rest of the spectrum that we do not see is still there. It's just that we don't see it. So I consider that the invisible, the spiritual, the supernatural. Some people ask me, what does ESP mean? Well, simply ESP means the gifts and the of the Holy Spirit. And so the fruits and the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And so people always have questions, and so as they ask me, they call and they ask, I'll tell them. Today's show is a little bit different. Today I'm being very warrior-like. I'm being brave, very daring. And we will be discussing abuse and bullying in the workplace. And abuse and bullying has many forms, many shapes, many facets. And there are many factors to look at. So what I've done, I've looked at the bully and his particular traits, proclivities, leanings, tendencies. And that's very much a part of the abuser. They're inherent within that person. Then I looked at the relationship, the situation, and that simply means there's always a place where bullying takes place. The bully and the harasser, they're very sneaky, they lie, they cheat, they steal, they do a number of things. And so, but they're sneaky in that they attempt to do it when no one is looking, so you don't have witnesses. And they have these secrets, and this is how they conduct their life based on their tendencies, their traits. Also, I looked at the victim, the target person. Why? Because they are the ones that are suffering. And so I look at anything and anyone that is in that situation. And why should I do that? Because I'm concerned with healing. That's one of my callings, to do healing work. And it bothers me immensely that people either don't like to be called a whistleblower, or they don't like to be called a snitch or a rat, and they endure, and the abuser gets stronger, more daring, more bold. And so the whole idea is to bring this information, this education to the public, so that the public will eventually have means in how to navigate that situation, and in essence educate themselves. And that will be towards the end of the program. But in the beginning of the program, and I have with me my guest, Yvonne E. Hanks. Yvonne E. Hanks, and you will see it up on the screen underneath her name. She's involved with Worldwide Culture Link, LLC. And she has a consulting cultural intelligence, bringing mindfulness into leadership. She's very involved with leaders. She's worked in the community, civil engagement, etc. So she's also a health, wellness, life coach, strategist, a mentor, a guide. So not only does she have the logical thing, she also has a healing part of her that she combines with her practice. So if ever you want to reach Yvonne, so it's Worldwide Culture Link, LLC. She also does individual and collective actions. She's very involved in the community. She's worked with nonprofit. And so today we will be discussing how to identify the issues of abuse, harassment, bullying, aggression, and I've made a list, and if you're ready, I'll run them through before we start the show per se. So I always like to define my terms, so I looked at the toxic relationship between the abuser and the abusee. The reason there's always some kind of relationship. In my opinion, it's toxic. It's not productive at all. And as I said before, the abuser has a tendency to lie, steal, cheat, destroy, and cover up. They cover up their tracks. They're very astute that way. And so when I say toxic, there's always the person that holds the power, so they think they're powerful beyond the law or above the law. And also, they know how to select their target. By that I mean they're sociopath. In my opinion, they're sociopath, and some of them are psychopath. Okay, the psychopaths are the ones that kill, but these others, they'll kill, they'll destroy your dreams, your career, your reputation, your income. They'll kill. Their whole intent is to hurt, to injure, to harass, to intimidate through fear. It's mostly through fear. They have a tendency to isolate their victim, to somehow remove them from the rest of the group in order to have more control, because these individuals are control hungry, they're power hungry, they're narcissistic in nature. They really think that they will not be caught. So they continue on and on. So the whole idea is, if you see something, say something. You know the slogan of the city of New York, if you see something, say something. So today we are saying something. I'm going to pass the baton, so to speak, to my friend Yvonne E. Hanks, because she's the expert in this area. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so talk to me about a little bit about your experience or information that you may have gathered about abuse and bullying, and your impression.
I would say that my experience with bullying, somehow personally into the community, was it began with my child when I moved to the school district. And unbeknown to me, at the time, this was early 1990s, he was 8 years old, and I moved to a school district in where it was mostly Anglo community, meaning there were hardly any ethnic minorities attending the school. So it was only 2 Latino children, one of myself included, and maybe 1 Asian and 1 African American. The rest of the demographics in the school were very Anglo. This was early in the 1990s. And my son came home several times saying to me, "Mom, they're calling me dirty face." And I normally would say, "Well, maybe were you eating candy or something?" He said, "No, they call me dirty face, and I don't know why." So it took me a while to cut on to what they meant that he had a dirty face.
Meaning his complexion was a little
His
darker?
complexion was a little bit darker, like olive skin, kind of like mine, so to speak. And nothing that you could say, well, he's a Latino kid versus all these are Anglo. But somehow, because of his Spanish surname, and we spoke English in the house, so I don't know how the other kids got hold that somehow he was different in terms of where he come from, a bilingual home, whatever. You know, kids learn stuff in the school right away. So he began to get bullied, and as an end result, it was causing him a lot of behavioral challenges at school. So I was being called to school all the time, and I learned very early on that the school system was not equipped to deal with those challenges, because they were pretty much responding to the majority of the demographic, like, well, you know, if my daughter said, oh, he said that your son is doing this, your son is doing that. But this was the first time that I was hearing complaints of any type So I was fairly,
So what were some of the challenges in terms of the behavior that he was exhibiting? What did you notice?
well, for example, he got a little hyperactive, like it was almost nervous energy.
Yes.
And as an 8-year-old, that's how he was internalizing and processing whatever was the abusive conduct that he was experiencing.
It's so interesting that you brought up the school system, and I've been aware of not the students per se at this point in time, but teachers and assistant principals being bullied by the principal themselves. Would you imagine within an institution of education that you feel it should be safe, it should be the anxiety level should be reduced, but what the children are doing, they're probably mimicking the adults. You know, they are cruel. They are cruel and vicious. They're sadistic, in my opinion, to want to hurt, because that's the word.
Hurt.
The intention is to hurt.
hurt, to cause pain.
Yes, it's not to make you grow and make you happy and peaceful. No, it's nothing
about
like that.
power.
So it's interesting. So tell me about this nervous energy.
So I could see as a parent that shortly after he began the school year, that he was coming home acting out, a little nervous.
What was the acting out?
Like, for example, he couldn't sit still. He would be whining, and normally he was not like that.
What about sleep?
He would wake up a lot in the middle of the night.
Okay, sleep, because what happens when the person is under a lot of stress, so you have a disorder in sleeping patterns, you have a disorder in eating sometimes.
Yes.
Well, what happened
Yes.
with his eating?
No, he eating. Well,
didn't
yeah, I
notice.
would say he will not really want to eat all the time. He was mostly nervous. He'll get up in the middle of the night saying, "I don't want to go to school," and I will ask him, "But why don't you want to go to school?" "Because they don't like me there." And he said, "But as an 8-year-old,
8 years old, they don't have the
they
language.
don't know. They don't have the articulation. They don't have the ability to communicate like adults can say. Well, this person is doing this and that to me." And all he can do was, well, I'm not supposed to hit back or to say anything back. But nevertheless, he felt that he was not being protected. But if he
Wow.
will take action to protect himself from the bully, then somehow
Then
he
he
was
would-
always getting caught.
Then he'll get caught.
He was
and he'll get blamed.
He was always getting caught
Yes,
and getting
because
blamed.
remember what I told you, the bully, the aggressor, the harasser, they're very sneaky.
They're very good. Yes.
They're very good, and they know. They have another ability, which is to recruit people to back them up.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? This happened to
absolutely,
you?
they do. This happened to my son.
Really?
Absolutely. And actually, it happened so ugly. One time on his way to home from school in the bus, I used to give him like this little juice boxes for his snack time, always in his backpack, and he was drinking it in the school bus that he would do sometimes. And the kid I was bullying it was like 4 or 5 kids together. There was one that was the leader. He took the juicy box and sort of threw it across all the way to the back of the box and hit a girl, and then he blamed my son. And of course, he told
Oh, yes. That's another thing that the bully does. They do a lot of blaming. It's never their fault.
They
They're
never take
they're innocent.
responsibility.
And they do what's called a lot of projection.
Yes.
Oh, he doesn't like me, or he said this about me. They project what's going on inside of them
Yes.
onto the other. That's interesting. Now, okay, so he was really so sad because he doesn't have the language.
And this was 1990.
Yeah.
1990.
And if he were to strike back, he would be in trouble with you.
And with the school,
with the
because
school.
it was a no strike, no hitting back or responding. The
So-
protection they had was you got to go get an adult. But in this case, the adult bus driver was driving. She didn't see it.
No.
So she couldn't
No,
tell
no.
who was at fault. So what she did, she kicked both children out of the school bus.
That's right. That's right. The two of them will get suspended.
No, she kicked them out of the
She
bus.
kicked them.
She didn't even drive them
Yeah,
to the homes where they were supposed to be dropped off. She left them in the street
So
to
she-
fend for
so she
themselves, so he
leaves-
got all beat up.
Yes, I was just going to say, how dare she? She puts the abuser with the victim, with the abuser together, alone.
Alone, no
in the street.
supervision.
Okay.
In the street that there was not that much traffic or people passerby, and there he got all beat up. So
Okay.
that's when I decided to take action.
Very
more.
good. Now, within this, because abuse and bullying is it's very large. Okay,
Yes.
the scope it's immense, and so I just want to zero in on the school system.
Yes.
And I want to focus on to the abuser.
The
You know,
abuser.
some of his qualities. I wrote a few things down, and I began to get sick just thinking about them and writing it down.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, these are some of their traits. So that it's called leanings, tendencies, proclivities. In my opinion, I perceive the abuser as damaged goods.
It is. It's a
They're
person that is what I
sick.
call a walking wounded.
Yeah, they are wounded, but they never learned how to, and so what they did, they internalized whoever was doing the nasty thing to them. Now they're going to do it to someone else. So they'll step on other people.
Yes.
They become the abuser, and they're very dangerous, by the way. So, in my opinion, they're weak. They're very weak. They're cowards. Deep down they feel inferior. They really do. But they have this exterior that shows, oh, I'm in power,
tough,
and they
that
seek powerful positions. They're astute enough to identify a position of power. Why power? Why power? So they can step on the other.
So they can abuse it.
So they can
Yes.
abuse it. That's right. So they also they demand certain loyalty. They demand control of the situation. They want to be in charge. That's why they look for power. They're very narcissistic.
Extremely narcissistic.
Very, yes.
Extremely. They fit the whole description or the DMSSR of
That's
narcissistic.
right. That's right.
And
They to the T. They're narcissistic. Yes, I got the book at home. ¿Cómo se llama el libro gordo este?
El DSMSR, es que yo lo digo
Sí,
a veces
¿tú lo dices en español?
en español, el MDS.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry, the
Don't worry.
mental
So
directory.
they also suffer from paranoia. They think people are talking about them, doing X, Y, and Z. But that's because they are projecting all these demons that are inside of them onto someone else.
Yes.
Yes.
Usually those people that are walking around, like I express myself, saying they're walking wounded.
Multitude facet diagnostic. MDS.
You know what I'm talking
MDS,
about,
of
yes.
course.
So they tend to be what I call individuals that are operating from a very low vibration.
Yes.
So when they have that low vibrancy, any kind of energy
Will
that is
attach-
around them will sort of find a home in that space. So it will exacerbate whatever is pain and suffering they have that causes them to engage in abusive conduct to someone that they might, like I said, identify like this is a weakling that I can actually pour all these.
I call it a cauldron, and they have all this gook going on inside, and they do, and deep down they feel inadequate.
Extremely inadequate.
They're very inferior, but they
Inferior.
attempt to put this positive superior.
Yes.
They want to project that, and so they're so afraid that you will discover their weaknesses and tell X, Y, and Z.
So they're always very busy creating issues and
Yes.
creating conflict
And chaos.
insidious. They're very insidious.
Yes.
Very insidious.
Yes.
And you find them in the workplace. You find them in the community. You find them at home in your own family members.
Oh, definitely, of course. I mean, that's
Families with a lot of siblings. You
Yeah,
always
yes,
find the one.
that's the jealous one. That's the envious one.
Right, right.
And this individual takes on all these things.
Yeah, they feed into all that energy
Yes,
that is
and I
negative.
wonder, is it nature, their nature, or is it nurture?
I will say it could be both.
I think so too.
Because you could have, you could be in a home where you come from an environment that you're very well nurtured. Your parents are doing a very good job in instilling and passing values to you. But somehow, if that child was raised a little bit spoiled,
Yes, a lot spoiled.
even though they might have the values, if the child is being spoiled, it's like the proverb says, spare the rod, you spoil the child. And if
Correct.
you observe the natural world, even when you're watching dogs and cats, an animal with their offsprings, even in the very first early stages that they're trying to teach them how to thrive in the world, you see this animal correcting their offspring when they're doing something they're not supposed to.
Right.
So it is in our natural and nurture
They have good instincts, these individuals.
to do that.
Yes.
But if you have a child that, even though the parents are doing the best they can in providing a good home, instill values, and if they spoil that child, it doesn't matter the values that you instill, what is gonna set in this person's molding and shaping this individual will be all the behavior that they allow this individual to get away with.
What happens is the child is incorrigible, incorregible.
Incorregible.
And you've heard that expression.
Oh,
Ese nene
yeah.
es incorregible.
Exactly.
Incorrigible. He can't be taught. They don't like being taught.
No.
They don't like being told. They're very willful.
Yes.
They're filled to capacity with anger and rage. And this is why they become the bully.
Exactly.
Because all these
they cannot get what they want all the time,
and
it
they
has to-
and
yeah.
they want it all the time. You know
Yes.
why? They're narcissistic. Really,
Yes.
they're narcissistic tendencies, and they don't have the ability.
They don't have empathy.
No, oh no, they don't
That
have
doesn't-
empathy.
They don't have any empathy, and there's no way that you can appeal to feeling sorry for you.
No.
Like if, let's say, if you're the adult and an adult person is bullying you, and you let that person know, you know, Maddie, you're saying this thing and you're doing this thing that really, it really offends me or
No.
really hurt me.
They don't have
They
that.
don't hear that.
No, they don't have. They don't
They
have
don't have the
empathy.
empathy to understand that.
No compassion.
No.
No mercy. No trust. No love.
No.
They really, truly do not love. It's what can I get from this person?
Yes.
So you get mistaken when you're dealing with this type of individual. Now, talking about their rage and their wrath, they become little monsters or big monsters when they're adults. And
If the bullying conduct begins as a child,
oh, forget it. They
it
become
will-
a tyrant.
there will be a
They
very
escalate.
difficult person to be around with, or to
Extremely.
even have any kind of healthy relationship.
No health, no love, no.
It takes like a whole 360-degree kind of turnaround behavior change, and that's
It takes 360 degrees. It takes over 10 psychologists, psychiatrists working day and night for the lifetime of that individual to fix him. They have to break him up like Humpty Dumpty.
yes,
Right?
yes, yeah.
And then put him back together again. But they will not. They won't succumb to real therapy. No.
Because it's an energy too.
Yes, of course, they're very energetic.
It's an energy that
And it's-
obviously they're choosing in either they're consciously are choosing to,
Of course they
to behave
choose.
that way,
Yes.
or to actually have the ability to understand that they're living a life through an ego that is toxic, that is not healthy.
Oh, you said the same thing I was thinking. Remember the old-fashioned vinyl records?
Yes,
The needle
yeah.
is stuck on the same groove over and
Exactly,
over.
yes.
They don't grow. They
don't
don't
grow.
learn.
No.
They don't mature.
No.
So in my opinion, they are psychologically damaged.
Yes.
And they are spiritually evil. They're
Yeah.
evil. When you really look into them, you say, oh, you become very afraid.
No, they're just. I don't like using that word nasty, but they are. They just have this.
Nasty is easier than
Ener-
evil. Evil is a very strong word
I
for
know.
me.
They're very. To me, my experience that observing bullies that I dealt with in my career, the workplace, in the community, when my child had that challenge in school, they just have this weight of it's a malice. That's the word.
Oh, yes.
They
They're
have a malice.
malice. They're filled with it. That's
It's
why
a
I call
malice.
evil.
Yes.
It's real. Yes. Y son malos.
They are, and they have totally disregard for another human being well-being.
And you know, another thing that I looked at,
Yes.
they have a way of thinking that I call concrete thinkers. Concrete thinkers, it's either white or black, my group or their group. You know,
Yes.
everything is so simple for them.
Yes.
You know,
No,
but
no,
the
it's-
world is not like that at all.
No, and that's how bullies are. Are you either on my camp,
Yes.
or you're not? And
Or
if
you're
you're
not.
not, I'll make you life.
That's right. Either you belong to
Hell.
my group, and if you don't belong to my
Yes.
group, you belong to the enemy's group.
Yes.
They're at war. They're
Yeah.
always at war.
They're walking. I call them. They're walking around with a raging war inside of them.
Oh my gosh.
And they just pour it on others.
That's right. They're always at war.
There's
And
always at
to
war.
be in a situation in the workplace, I call it the war zone.
Oh, that for them is where they come and get their feed.
Oh, they
Because
feed.
if at home they're not really living that kind of
Oh
lifestyle.
no, they driving their parents crazy.
Their
Trust me.
parents,
If they're
or
young.
their spouses,
And their
whoever they
spouse-
are.
oh, yes.
But they come to the workplace and they thrive and they feed in the other need that they're
That's
doing
what
from the
feeds
others
them.
that are willing to support whatever is that their mission when they are targeting somebody.
You know, so you know you have a little bit of information about the spiritual realm, and so do I. And so when I see people like that, I say, oh my God, look at all those demons. They have demons. That's really what they are. Demons. That's the spiritual aspect.
I call them the low vibrations.
You call it low vibration. Yeah, and they're very deranged. They're
Yeah.
deranged. Their motives, their intention is so.
They're always, like you said, they have a grade of paranoia, so they're looking
Yes.
at others like.
That's right.
Because basically they're looking at their own reflection.
Yes, that's the projection. They project.
They're looking at their own reflection, and their own mind causes them to think, even if you're not looking at them for any reason. In them, they're like, "What are you looking at me like
That's
that?"
right. Why
Well,
did you
I'm gonna
look?
get-
Yeah.
I'm going to
yeah.
keep an eye
yeah,
on
I
this.
saw
I
you
don't like the
frown-
way
That's
you're
right. I
looking
saw
at
you
me.
frowning at me.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And I saw how you went like that. You would
No,
love to
there-
do that to
yes.
me. There, you know, when I was writing this piece, I said, "Oh my God, I feel so sick." It made me sick too.
No, it's
because
for real.
I was going into their personality and how they behave in the workplace.
Those type of people, they're around. They're in the
Oh
workplace.
yes, oh yes, they are.
And the only way that you can really, especially in leadership, bring
Oh my
in
gosh, they look for leadership. They look for power. That's their thing. That was, it feeds them, and they don't care who they step on. They become dictatorial. They become authoritarian, as if they were the authority. They know nothing. They don't. They're ignorant,
yes.
and they're weak, and they're cowards. You know, they're all these things, and I'm saying. And the interesting thing, some of them rise up the ladder.
Yes, that's the scary part.
Yes,
I've
disgusting.
seen
That's
it
what it
from
is.
the community all
You've
the way to
seen
the
it.
top. 30 years, yes. And it's funny that you say, oh my God, that person got elected, that person was appointed to that position, when you know they have a track record that is, that the only thing that they leave behind is just chaos, mayhem, and havoc. But somehow,
Always.
nevertheless, they always find the type of
victim.
people, or
Yes.
the type of people that is going to help them be where they need to be, so they can create more mayhem.
That's why,
It's just
because they're
weird, but
sociopath. You know what a socio?
they're manipulative.
Highly
criminally.
manipulative.
Yes.
They know how to read people instantly.
Yes.
And so they see according to them, the weak one, the one that's meek, that's loyal, that's truthful, that's honest. They'll go after that person.
Yes.
Okay, because they feel they're the king or the queen of the jungle.
Yeah.
Because they create the jungle, you know that.
Yes. I know. No, I know. And that's what they do. Somehow they have that ability to
They
put
do.
themselves in positioning where even someone that you would think, a manager that has some kind of background to make an assessment, is that individual is capable to fulfill that position, but somehow, especially in politics and in
Yes.
government,
They meander and they get in.
and they somehow get in,
And
they use their connections at their power,
the
and then they use
connections.
it to go after the people they don't like in the workplace.
Oh,
That's
they're
what they do.
dangerous.
They're
Yes,
very
and
dangerous.
they'll oust the ones. Think with that. They'll oust the ones that they feel threatened. So
Yes.
who threatens them? No one really and truly threatens them, but whoever is perceived as superior, more intelligent, more likable. Okay, very disciplined.
Yes.
So they don't like any, because then it shows how
It's-
inferior they really
It
are.
makes them look bad.
It makes them look bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's interesting because when I write, look at this little drawing. You see that twisted thing?
Yes.
So I wrote, they're sadistic, twisted,
Yes, and devious.
and devious.
They're very insidious. I
Yes.
mean, the kind of bullying that I have dealt with in my career and witnessed it in the community when we were receiving complaints when I was doing my my short term as a Commissioner of Human Rights, they all have the same kind of characteristics, what you just described.
Have you been able to identify them instantly?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I can
Absolutely.
spot them instantly, and I stay away from that kind of person. Oh no, I
Me
don't
too.
want them. No,
Me too.
They will never be a part of my team because they will destroy your team.
Oh, absolutely. No.
They
I-
will, and they're like the drop on the rock. Continues. They don't give up, by the way.
No.
They're so relentless that way,
No.
mean and vicious and cruel.
Yes. And the only thing that you can do, for example, is put yourself, if there is a system, if you're in your community.
Oh, reintroduce the show.
I'm sorry.
Because I can't. Okay, I couldn't see. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Joey. So I want to invite you once again to watch TildeVision Ideas. TildeVision Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business wealth, and the Word of God. I also want to thank people for allowing me to serve as catalyst in the healing process of the people that I come in contact with. And why? Because I do serve as catalyst. No toques el diablo. Entonces, thank you for allowing me to come into your life and to come into your living room and to be a part of you. And I always attempt to show programs that teach, that give you some kind of a lesson that you you can come away with information, because information is critical. Information is, knowledge is power. Déjate todo el micrófono. Entonces, I'm reprimanding her. I don't believe I did that. So anyway,
Don't worry about
I
it.
call them the power hungry, control hungry villains. I call them the villain. And they have this tremendous need to deceive, to manipulate, to cover their tracks. They're excellent at it. So they lie, they cheat, they destroy, and they'll destroy. They'll begin chipping at you, at your dreams, at your goals, at your career, at your income, your finances, your associates, your colleagues. They begin, and they're insidious, to use your word. And so yeah, I stay away from them because I cannot match their evilness. I'm aware of it. I'm fully aware 100, but I choose, because life is a choice, really. And you know, someone on TV the other day said that we make like 10,000 decisions a week. 10,000, and I'm saying, oh yeah, that I knew there were plenty, but not that many. So
10,000, that's a lot.
that's a lot. Yeah, we do. Oh, I'm going to put sugar. Well, should I put? No, I put a little more sugar. No, I put less. Oh, I think I'm going to warm the coffee a little more.
We're always
no,
negotiating.
I won't drink it now. I'll drink it later after I've digested. It's tons of decisions, you know, and you're making choices. So other things that the abuser and the bully have, not only do they lack what we mentioned a little while ago, I'll just run them. They lack empathy, mercy, compassion, love, trust, camaraderie. They're not a good team player. Trust me, you don't want them in your group, you don't want them in your church, you don't want them in your school. And if they happen to be in school, you must remove them. You know, I'm talking to the Board of Ed or whoever is in charge. Remove them, because they will destroy. First, they'll begin with the students, the teachers, the assistant principals, the community. They will keep at it until they get what they want. They want full power. Only God is full power. He's the absolute power. So take that and smoke it, okay? Now,
I love that.
I get so angry. I do. I really do. So they don't know about humility or humbleness. They don't know about civility. I can't see. Introduce Yvonne. Oh my gosh. So Yvonne,
You can't.
my friend Yvonne E. Hanks is with me, and
You're too cute.
and I have a tendency to do these shows by myself sometimes, but Yvonne is an expert in this area. Oh yeah, she worked in the community. She knows. She's come across many, trust me, many, that she's being somewhat reserved. And I don't know why she's being reserved because I'm free today. I'm free today. I'm the warrior.
Yes.
Okay? I have my shield and my sword. I'm gonna go to war.
Yes.
How do you like that, Jamie? So they lack that civility. They don't know anything about justice and fairness.
No,
You know, I'm going. Where were these people incubated?
And that's the
They
funny
weren't
part.
inside a woman's womb, or maybe if they were inside a woman's womb, maybe they were dropped on their head at infancy. They are mean and vicious and cruel, sadistic. You know, they don't have morals. They don't have ethics. Everything is about me and me and number one, and I'll step on anybody and destroy anybody. They can destroy your career, your
Oh,
personality. They'll destroy your income. They'll destroy.
Yes.
They're destructive. You know, in scripture, the father of lies, that's Satan, the devil. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I see them just like that. I swear, I see little devils. I see little demons inside of them. They walk around with demons.
They're, like I said, they're low vibration energy.
Low
and-
vibration, so kind.
and they come because, think about it, we have that duality of good and evil.
Yes, we do.
And we have that choice.
Yes, we do. We
And
have
also,
free
if
will.
you believe, like, exactly the free will, and if we believe in some kind of regenerating energy, or
Yes. To
rebirthing,
rebirthing,
or
transformation.
reincarnation, or when we leave this body,
That's
what
right.
happens with this consciousness and this energy? And if it's true, like many of the disciplines talk about, and the experts and the gurus and spiritual powers that may be, that supposedly we continue.
Yes.
Whatever karma they have accumulated.
But they don't believe
this
in any
karma-
of that. They're a lump of meat.
I know.
All they know is to eat, have sex, and,
Yes.
and by the way, some of them become sexual abusers, even though we're not going to go into the
Yes,
sexual abuse.
The bullying is abusive conduct. It's somebody
Very.
that generates pleasure of causing pain and suffering
Yes.
to whoever they made the target to be. It could be a group, or it could be just one person individually.
Oh no, I don't think
But-
they may have one person for
Yeah.
now, for
Yes.
this time.
Yes.
And then they move on.
Yes, yes.
After they feel they have destroyed this person, then they move on to because I know of cases where the individual that I have in mind at this moment, I think I'm a little freer than you are. So I don't know, perhaps there were 9 of them, and so decided to pick on one, and when they really, the person couldn't take it anymore, the person left. So they moved on to the next one.
Yes.
And that person, you know, I guess they dealt, or they didn't have as much strength or fortitude or whatever, endurance, and they moved on out of the.
That's what they do. Sometimes it's best to leave
It is best to leave.
because
But
the
why not
system might
remove them?
not be-
Why not remove them? That to me is the better thing.
Because sometimes the system supports that kind of environment, and that's the sad part about it. That the system is
The
ill-equipped.
system should be sued.
It-
Sued.
And they do, and that's the thing, that's a challenge that sometimes a lot of the governmental agencies, for example, here in New York State, at the state level, the staff that is administering or managing those programs, they do the
Yes.
best they can, but they are in a way ill-equipped to really understand the nature of how bullying is manifested.
If you're not part of the solution, then you become part of the problem. Am I correct?
Yes.
So
Even
the
filing
sys-
a complaint becomes a
Oh
problem.
my God! Another complaint against this person. The complaint is this high,
Yes.
and they say, "Oh, not again! Not that person again!" You know, it's But I find that in looking at this and looking at the traits of the perpetrator, because they perpetrate.
They are
They're
perpetrators.
stalkers. They're evil.
Yeah, no, they're abusive. They
Yes.
just devious. They're
so
devious.
I said, how can we remove these qualities and traits that are inside that person? And then I always say God gives me, because He does give me things. I said, how can I remove the cells from the the bloodstream of the body. How can I do that? And I said, it can't be done. God gave me that. I swear, it can't be done. I said, so you can't remove the
You have
traits.
to use such a cleansing, who knows, maybe do an exorcism, who knows,
Oh, yeah,
to
they-
get these people away from this cap.
They need an
is-
exorcist.
I
They
don't
really
know. I don't know anyone that has engaged in some kind of bullying conduct
Yes.
that has been reformed. I
I
just
don't
know any case in particular.
Neither do I.
I mean, you might find individuals that they truly gone through a stage that has been
No, there's no change.
undesirable, but I don't think so.
No, there's no healing. I mean, all God has gifted me, okay? Only God can create that kind of miracle.
Yes.
Only God.
Yes.
Because with all the gifts and blessings God has given me, I don't think I could deal effectively with that person. And also because they disgust me, they turn me off. You know, it turns me off. Now, let's look at their behavior, because, you know, we were talking about some of their traits. So the behavior itself, if we can spot the behavior, because you can't spot really a trait. It's invisible. It's inside the person. But the behavior, we can.
The behavior. Most bullying, especially adult bullying.
Yes.
The way they start is, for example, let's say you come new to a group, and you've been trying to be pleasant and friendly. You're just getting to know the people. You will detect the bully immediately because the person that is part of whatever is the niche or the clique that you came to be part of it in a work environment, that person immediately likes to mark their territory, and they will start sort of making.
When you said mark the territory, I thought of an animal. You
They
know, like
do.
a dog and a cat.
They do.
They mark the territory.
That's what they do.
They do. Yes, they do.
They mark their territory.
And
they
don't you
begin-
dare use their pen or take their chair.
Like exactly. So it could be anything. So if you're the newest grant coming in and this person feels that they already have their group all kind
Their
of
entourage.
exactly all form, and then there's the new person, and if the other people that are part of that group take a liking to the new person, they're trying to make that person feel welcome.
My gosh.
That's very threatening
Very.
to this narcissistic personality because it's all about me all the time. And
That's
number
right.
one, so all of a sudden this new person is getting all the attention, the civility, the pleasantry, the
The
welcoming,
smiles.
and
Have a seat.
the defective individual.
Yes, defective. They are defective. They are deranged.
Exactly.
Something is wrong with them. Okay, I don't care. I am saying it. If it fits,
Wear the shoe.
put the shoe on.
Put the shoe on.
The shoe fits, put it on.
So that's how it starts. So you could make a comment as you gave a good example. Let's say, for example, you're sitting on a table, they're about to start a meeting, and the new person that is being thrown into there, and that person shows up. And I have observed this actually. I'm
Yes.
speaking from experience.
Uh-huh. Okay, so speaking from experience, remember where you were going with that.
Yes.
Speaking, I just want to talk about the modus operandi, their MO, how they operate in the workplace or in any environment,
Yes.
in any institution.
It's the same for children
they
and
begin
adults.
by creating some kind of fear and anxiety. Have you noticed?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's how they start. That was
yes,
the
that's
example.
exactly.
That's exactly
and,
how it starts.
And they can detect fear. They can
They
smell
can,
it.
They can sense how the person that they have made the target reacts to
Yes,
that, and that gives
yes.
them the entry.
That's
Ooh,
right.
This
Ooh.
and that's how we start. And it could be something that you're going to go sit in the table. This was an impromptu meeting. You're a new person, and come on, we gotta go. We gotta get there. We're running late. And you grab a pad, and you forget a pencil or a pen. Then you come to a table, and you see pencils in there. And anybody, oh, there's enough. So you grab a pencil, because you make the assumption this is a meeting. It's a staff. There's pencils, or pens, or paper is obviously there, so people can use them. So the new person makes the assumption, grabs a pencil,
Wow.
and there's the bully. Hey, who told you you can take
Is
that pencil?
Is that yours?
Is that you? Who told you you can use
Who
that
told
pencil?
you? I can tell you.
And the new person feeling,
here,
I'm so
here,
sorry,
here.
I didn't
I'm
mean
sorry.
to.
I didn't mean it.
And that's how it starts.
And
It starts right from the get-go. And it could be something
So
as simple,
simple.
supposedly,
Oh.
as that.
We're in sync. And you use the word
then-
entry. Oh, they're so astute.
They're very
They know
astute.
when to enter. And once they enter into your space, And what they want to do is also occupy your mind. Did you know that? They want you to be thinking about them day in and day out. They want to be your worst nightmare.
No, it's true.
It's true, I
It is
know.
true.
You've met a few of them, huh?
I know a few.
Okay.
I know a few.
So they have a tendency also to isolate the individual. They
do.
can isolate you with a word, with a gesture, with space. They can isolate you. No, you can't sit here. No, you have to sit over there. They take
All
charge.
that kind of stuff.
All that. And if you do that, that's obedience. They see that, oh, she's obeying me. It's like sadomasochist. You know, it's like a slave mentality.
And it's very difficult to challenge them because
Very.
if the person have, for example, like someone that, and I will use me as an experience, that I have experienced different things like that, and I detect the bully immediately. I just kind of looked at them, giving a smile, and I say, "Thank you."
Me too.
Thank you.
I don't want them in
Thank
my
you.
world.
Thank you. And even doing that, but that could, depending on that kind of bully you're dealing with, it can exacerbate it even more
can.
because they don't like to be questioned, they don't like to be challenged,
And they
or made
don't-
look bad in front
And
of
they
the
don't like to
people.
be ousted. You're ousting them. You reject, in a way, you're reject. It's a rejection, and
Yes.
they perceive it. They feel it
Yeah,
viscerally.
because and then they go more after you. So there's no way that you can hide from this person.
No,
you
no.
either have to, and right from the
Okay, so
get-go,
so
you
what-
start documenting. You gotta
Documenting.
start documenting.
You have to document. You
In the-
have
if
to.
it's in the workplace, you have
put
to
it,
begin
put it in
documents.
writing.
Yes.
Day, time, the incident, the people around who witnessed, who did. But they're very astute. They'll get allies. You know
Yes.
who their allies
And
are.
they usually they get allies with people that are going to support the behavior because
100%. By the way, if you're an ally to an abuser and a bully, you yourself, you're a coward. You know you're a coward. You're a coward. You're weak.
And
You
you
don't,
also-
you don't know how to stand up, and then you permit your colleague to be buried or whatever, under paper, under whatever. Let me tell you, the ally is just as bad as the bully.
no, they're
They're weaklings. They have no spine.
and the fact that the person that is witnessing another human being mistreated
Can you
or
imagine?
being abused,
Then
and
they
that
become part of it.
because they worry about their
Themselves.
own and also their job. Because
Yes.
if the bully is in a position of power, they're
Yes.
going to do everything they can
Right. So
to make sure that that person gets taken care of if they don't support their views or whatever it is that they're after.
So these bullies, they discriminate. They're very prejudiced. They break the law. It's a law.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be bullying, especially in the school system. Give me a break. Wake up, okay? Whoever.
And it happens.
Sue me. I have the liberty of freedom of expression. This is a TV. This is media. Okay. So they criticize because they need to put you down. They need to cut you down to pieces. You know that.
Oh, yes.
Because that makes them feel big and strong and,
Yes.
and powerful.
Yes.
They if they can't threaten you, then they promise to threaten you. You've come across them.
I have experienced. That's my professional career. I
They'll
was an advocate.
Oh, you better be careful.
So I'm one of those people that always speak up.
Good for you.
Regardless.
Good for
of
you.
The circumstances, it is always right to do the right thing no matter what.
That's right.
I mean, you cannot try to stay away from people's business, but if it's directly affecting you and you are part of it, you have to speak up. You have to use the system. It doesn't matter you have to file 27, 5, 10 to complain. Do it. Don't be afraid. That's what makes us American. We have a process. We have due process for just about everything.
What about, have you met any of them that, I call them, these bullies, these harassers, these abusers? Have you ever met that they literally set a trap to entrap their victim?
Absolutely.
Yes, you've come
Absolutely.
across.
I have come across. I've seen it. It's happened to me, and I have seen it happening to others, not only in the workplace. I've seen them in the community.
And these
Even
are-
when I didn't know, even in 1990, when the word bullying was not part of the
Yeah.
repertoire
That's
of,
right.
of the language, that was not a word that was used.
Right.
A lot of these behaviors were actually tolerated.
Of course. Everybody was so afraid. You know, the status quo.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. But
Now,
now,
do you
people
find
are
that-
waking up.
Did you find that some of them are so loose that they'll curse? They'll use profanity?
Yes.
Yes. They're
And
so
different-
free
yes.
in using profanity. And and that's okay with them.
Yeah, I use the F word or the
Yes.
or the S word, just like just
Or the B
talking-
word,
Yeah.
or the
yeah,
N
yeah,
word.
Yeah. If they cannot manipulate you, they'll go like, oh, you're such a, I'm gonna say
prude.
biatch.
Oh, you're such a prude.
biatch.
Oh, you're so refined. You're so politically correct.
I wasn't sure if you could say that in TV, but yes, they use expression like the B word.
Yeah.
and
I
things
don't
like
use
that.
it in my
So
program. It's allowed.
Is
You know,
it?
yeah, it's allowed. But I don't use it. I feel that I have an extensive vocabulary,
yeah.
but I can still call you a rat without calling you a rat.
Right. And that's the unfortunate thing, that these people, since they don't have empathy, they have a lot of hate and anger in their heart. They're very inadequate. They just don't have the empathy to relate to someone.
They don't.
So if you want to appeal to,
How many minutes?
to their compassion, if they have any, basically you have to appeal to something that has a direct impact to them, not to their emotional aspect. You have to appeal to something that is of interest of him,
Like their position.
something.
Okay, so you are forewarned. Your position is in jeopardy. Okay, wherever you are, you could be in media. You're going to have to leave. You could be in education. You're going to have to leave. Better you leave and not be dragged out in handcuffs, because you'll be arrested, because this is legal. This is criminal what you're doing. Okay, now one thing that I wrote about the abuse is they have a plan, and the plan is horrific, and they must disrupt whatever it is. They have this need to disrupt.
It could be envy that is driving them.
Envy and jealousy.
Like in my case, unfortunately, the experience that I had with the bully is that she was very emotionally insecure,
Ten cuidado.
only child, overweight, and somehow any other female that she felt that was not like her, let's say a little bit attractive or something.
Ten cuidado que me dijiste que no podías hablar de
Did you
ciertas
go?
cosas.
No, that's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right. That's
So
okay.
it's interesting. So the bully was a female against a female?
Yes.
Give me a break.
And it was all
You
part of a
stupid
clique.
females.
And it was
Dare
all
you?
part of a
How
clique.
dare
And
you?
it was
We have
crazy.
everything against us, okay? I mean, we didn't even have the right to vote until recently. How dare you be abusive against a sister? The other sisters should do something to you. I don't know
And
what-
then it took me very long time for me to figure it out that was going on.
Yeah, but okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You're
It's
good, okay.
This is good. But it just happened, and it's not only that specific case. I saw it happening to other people, not only just me in the community, in certain organizations that I used to participate, even if I was just observing the nature of the interaction of the individuals,
I
because
just need to know the time.
it was all about power, you know.
Can't see.
It's all about power.
Oh, definitely, 100. So, oh my goodness. So I have to hurry. I wanted to mention this. First of all, I want to thank Yvonne. Yvonne and I talk over each other. We trip over each other because we have so much information. We have to do this again, Yvonne.
Yes.
Because we're gonna have to tape it because we have so much to say.
Yeah, no problem.
But you know, I did want to say that the abuse is intent, their intent, and their plan is a horrific action. It's an action plan, it's horrific. And it must be disrupted. We must do something to intervene and disrupt that. Why? Because their plan of action is to inflict as much pain and suffering, do as much damage and possible for as long as they can get away with it. And so they'll ramp it up, they'll intensify it because they're so angry, the anger and the energy that you talked about. The abuser needs to be stripped of their status, their position, their income. They need to be stripped. Yes, they do. And of everything, pension, anything and everything. Why? Because they're deranged, they're sick. They're sick. We should take pity because they're sick, but they're so evil that I don't feel pity. No. When I see the damage done to the abusee, the one that received, no, I don't feel sorry for them. So they're psychologically deranged, they're spiritually evil, they exhibit narcissistic traits, and immediate gratification. They
It's all
wanted
about
that.
immediate gratification. It
Always.
is all about
Always.
immediate gratification.
They lack moral, ethical, and spiritual standards. They need to be removed, demoted. They need to be taken, yanked off their high horse because they think they're above the law. And they have to be punished. Somehow, somewhere, they need to be punished. We have like 2 minutes. You tell me what's on your heart, your mind, what that we should do with these people. And they're all over.
Okay. I think my approach
Yes.
nowadays, which I did before, obviously didn't work, but I stand by it today still, is about consciousness. You just have to kind of
But
have
the consciousness, bringing it
a
to the public.
compassionate, having a compassionate kind of approach in dealing with this abuser, because the only way that you're going to get through them is just basically is taking the mask off, expose them, bring the abuse to the light, and the only way that you can do that is for the people that are experiencing any kind of abuse is
So they
bring
need
it
to
to
be-
the attention to whoever they needs to know. If you're in a workplace area, go to your human resources, file complaints.
But
Don't
the
be
human
afraid, don't be
resources is
discouraged.
in cahoots with them.
They are most of the time because it's all about liability and they're protecting the institution, the organization, the agency, unfortunately.
100% correct.
Yes, but however, you still have to use the process because what it matters is it's all about the paper. And that's how government works. So you got to do that filing even if you don't believe that the process that is going to fix things for you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, it's mostly work for the people that have the means and the resources to pay to hire a lawyer on the side so they can see the filing through, because when it gets to the organization, the agencies that are dealing with this processing of this application, they're also ill-equipped because it's all about the fox washing the hen house. So, and it's sad that I have to share this. It's not discouraging. No, still use the process. Don't get discouraged. Use it. If there's a filing of a complaint process, by all means go there and do it. Start documenting the first time that you felt that this person violated your space, it was inappropriate, or engaged in any kind of abusive conduct. Have self-love and self-respect and do the filing. Don't be afraid, just do it because that's the only way you can.
So to repeat your words, they need to be exposed
Exactly.
and removed. They need to be removed. They are a hindrance to society and civilization.
Yes.
Because otherwise the society and the civilization suffers.
It suffers.
It suffers. And so we have 1 minute. Once again, I thank you for being my guest
Thank you,
and
Maddie,
allowing
for
me to
having me.
express
This
with you.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Yes, it's
Thank
been
you.
a
I
lot
appreciate
of
the
fun.
invite.
It's been
very
a
good.
lot of fun, and I know that you're riddled with information about leadership.
Yes.
And we have to do this again. I know
Don't
you have a
worry about
long
it.
drive.
That's okay. We can do it again.
We can do it again, and maybe we can think of something to save you that humongous trip. Maybe we could do a Skype.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes. Can we do that?
Yes.
Can we have it?
Yes. Yes.
Because I even if I'm in Cape Cod, we can do it. We
Wonderful.
can do it from Cape Cod. I have.
Wonderful. Okay, so on that note, so identify the abuser, identify his traits, his qualities, his leanings, tendencies, identify the times, identify the MO, the modus operandi, and if you see something, say something. You have a voice, that's your power. Thank you for watching TildeVision Ideas. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
So,
That's funny.